Alrighty, so we're going to jump in. Let me know if you can hear me okay. If you can hear me okay, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I don't know why I look kind of red. I guess that's just the lighting in here. Let me see if I can improve the lighting really quickly. Alrighty. So I think the lighting might be better now. Hopefully it is. Homework this week is 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. Alrighty. And remember, YouTube, the weekly YouTube videos is now just social media in general, and tag the school. I'll post those links once we're finished setting up all of the socials for the school. Right now it's just YouTube. All right, we're going to hop on in. So we're going to be going over imports. Is that where I think we kind of left off on imports, but we're going to hop on into imports. So we're going to learn about importing stuff like OS, the Kinter, time, NumPy, so we can do advanced math. So we're going to do a lot of that stuff today. So let's go ahead and start to talk about it. So import, like import time here, and I'm going to try to, since we're doing it this way on social media, I'm going to try to incorporate some visuals here of actual importing time, importing NumPy, and all that good stuff, and kind of what they do. Okay. All right. So import time, and what an import feature is where you can literally go into Code.hs and just literally type in import, and it gives you an entire new library. So there's a lot of libraries within Python that it does. That's how it functions. But there's some stuff that Python doesn't do, that some of these imports, when it imports these other libraries, that it allows you to do. And I'll try to give you some examples of that as well after the first break. Okay, so first thing is import time. So import time allows you to add a delay, which is awesome, because remember, your program is going to execute everything automatically. It just is. It's going to execute absolutely everything automatically. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you run it, it's instant. So there's some cases, and I want you to type in the chat, what are some cases when you wouldn't want your program to execute something automatically? This is going to be very, very interactive, and I'm going to give you guys points for your interaction here, because I want this to be interaction. I don't want it to just be me talking to a screen here. And I want to make sure that you're engaged in learning, so work with me. But what are some things where you wouldn't want the program to execute instantly? I can think of one, like if I'm having you put in like your information, I may want there to be a delay from when you hit enter to when you hit something else. Timed payments. Francisco said timed payments. That's a good one. That's when you may not want it to happen instantly, and you may want it to be on a delay. You may say, hey, run this payment, but maybe you want to put it on a 5-second delay, a 10-second delay, just in case someone wants to change the amount or change their zip code or something like that. Setting a calendar date, maybe something you want to execute on a delay. In that case, this is an import time, but yeah, there is an import where you can import dates and where you can put in calendar days and calendar times. Absolutely. Where you could want it to execute at a certain date. But for time, there's certain situations where you may want to just have it not do something instantly. There may be a situation where you want something else to run. You have them put in their name, and maybe you want it to say, hi, Jane. But before you put in, hi, Jane, you may want it to verify that Jane is, a member. And if not, do something else. So there's different instances, and that's not the greatest example, because you can just put in a verify, if Jane _ member, do this, right? And if not, do that. So that's not the greatest example. But there's times where you want it just to delay 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. With sending out emails, that's normally, well, yeah, you could do that. Someone hits send, and you don't want it to send it out instantly. Maybe, and actually, that's a great example, Francisco, because there's times where, let me see if this will do. There you go. There's times where I may not want to send that email out automatically. I may instead want to send it out one after another. And a lot of them do this because if you have 5,000 members in your email or 5,000 contacts in your email, and Google or whomever sees 5,000 emails coming from the same user, they're going to just instantly mark them all as spam. So maybe you wanted to do a 1 second delay between emails, and that 1 second is enough for it to not, feel like it's sending out all of these emails at once. Or maybe even a 5 second delay. So you hit send and it sends all 5,000 out, but 5 seconds after each other. So somebody might get theirs at 6 o'clock. Somebody might get theirs at 6, o'clock in 5 seconds, 6 o'clock, 10 seconds, 6 o'clock, 15 seconds, right? And if you got 5,000 emails, I don't know, do the math, 5,000 times 5 seconds, right? So you have 25,000 seconds. So I don't know how many minutes that is. Maybe that's about, 45 minutes. So over 45 minutes, all of those emails get sent out, right? And it keeps it from marking it as spam, because you could technically send out an email every 5 seconds directly. So that is a good example. So there's times when you'd want it to run or delay by 2 seconds, and import time allows you to do this. So you can do import time, and then you can do time.sleep. In parentheses, that T represents how much time you want. So I put an example here. Import time message equals hi. I am trying to create suspense, right? For I in message, and this is printing each character of the message, print I, time.sleep, 0.3. So who can tell me what's about to happen here? This is great. We learn ranges. Remember, for I in range, and we said for I in message equals hi, !3 exclamation marks. I am trying to create suspense. What is going to happen when we run this code? We've imported time. Now our code can do time. Stephanie says she feels like this and the funnel in AI goes together. That's a great one. It kind of does. You get the benefit of being in both classes. So who can tell me what this is going to do? And I'm going to go and I don't have this pre-prepped. So I'm going to type this in because this is cool. I really want you guys to see this. But while I'm typing this up, who can tell me what's going to happen? That's it. Albert says it runs. He may have just did it, which is totally fine, but it runs it letter by letter, right? And so I'm just going to show you here because I just think it is So awesome. I'm going to pull this over. And we're going to do this. I'm going to do this on screen so you can hopefully see it. And I want you to see. Oh, what is this? Yeah, it's putting ChatGPT up. I'm not sure why it's doing that. All right, so let's look at this. Let's do it. Import time equals, what do I have? Message. Oh, message. And then I think we did what? Hi, exclamation mark. I am trying to create suspense. Is that what we did? Did I spell suspense right? All right, maybe I did. Let's see if I can just copy this here. And then we're just going to do for I in message. Print I. And time.sleep 0.03. So now what I've created is a for loop, right? So I've created this for loop that runs over and over. So for I in message, so now it's going to go through every single letter of that message, right? And I've done my import time. Matter of fact, let's hashtag that out. So without my import time, print I time.sleep. So let's try to run this without my import time. Okay. So what's going to happen? Boom. It's going to go, hey, time is not defined. We don't know what time is. Time.sleep. What is that? So let's go ahead and import time. And normally, all of your imports will be up here. So just pretend none of this stuff is here. Normally at the very top of your code, you can do your import time, import numpy, import whatever, import OS, import, to Kinter. And I don't know if some of these should be capital or whatever. To Kinter, is that it? There's no I, it's just a T. To Kinter, right? And then I'm gonna do all of my imports and then I'm gonna run it, right? So here we go. So for I in message, and we're gonna run it. And here we go. Hi, I am trying to create suspense, right? So every time it loops, right? But I could do it another way. I could do message and then let's create another one that says hello equals hello birdie. All right. So maybe I don't want it to do a for loop. Maybe I just want to do maybe I just want to do something else. Maybe I want to do just a print statement. Maybe I want to do print message. Right? Is that going to work if I run it like that? Hi, I'm trying to create suspense, right? But then what if I did time.sleep 3? All right. So here we're going to do print message and then we'll do print hello. Let's see what happens. Hi, I'm trying to create suspense and apparently I spelled create wrong. I need to put an E on that. And then I have a space here. So let's print that again. Hi, I'm trying to create suspense. Hi, hello, birdie, right? I did my file. I didn't do an escape. But you see my mistake there. All right. Now, what if I put, so I printed them both instantly. What if I put it after the time.sleep? What's going to happen? Look, it prints the hi, I'm trying to create suspense. And then 3 seconds later, hello, birdie. Right? So I just said, hey, print this message. What if I change this to 10 seconds? Oh, that's a long time. So it just says, hello, hi, I'm trying to create suspense. And now it's just waiting. It's waiting. It's waiting. It's waiting. It's going to wait for 10 seconds. And then boom, it'll print my next message. Hello, birdie. So Francisco has a question. So Albert says, hey, that's interesting. Why doesn't it just print word by word? If I wanted to print word by word, I have to do something else different, because I put here, let's activate this again. I'm removing where I commented it out. For I in message. So for I means for every part of the message. So every character, right? And really, it's not every character. It's every place in memory. So every like index value of the memory, and I'm not saying it correctly, but every one of these letters, H, I, exclamation, is holding up a bit of memory. So it's literally going through each one of these one by one by one by one, and that's what you're getting as a printout. So for I means really every space, every character number, every specific space, go through it one by one. Because I said for I in message. So message equals all of these. So I could have, if I was writing it in plain English, I go for every character in message, print that character, right? And it's going to print it, then it'll loop back, print it again, loop back, print it again, loop back. Okay. So here, let's put it for T in message and see if it runs. Let's do for T in message instead of for I in message. It says, hey, name I is not defined. Did you mean ID? So print I. Oh, okay. I put print I. For T in message, print T. So here we go. Let's see if that works. Look, it works. Francisco asked, why is I used? I is very commonly used, but it doesn't have to be I. We just use T. T works just as well. So it does not need to be I, Francisco. And Albert asked the same question. Very good. You guys are very on it. And now look. So look how my code ran. We forgot about the print message and print hello, right? So it printed all of this stuff, and then it went and printed, I am trying to create suspense at the bottom, and then hello, birdie. So this is awesome. Okay. So that's what import time does. That's what import time does. Okay. Very good. So import time, start time equals time dot time. Okay. For I in range, 0, 50. That's telling us our start and stop place. Print I, making delay for 1 second. So if I want it to be 1 second, I'm gonna go time dot sleep 1 second, right? End equals time dot time. Elapsed time equals end time minus start time. So if I want to figure out what my elapsed time is, I can do end time minus start time. And then I can do print elapsed time equals parentheses S, right? Or not parentheses, that percentage sign or modulus S. Here you go, modulus elapsed time, right? So now this is going to give me a minus of my start time. Start time equals time dot time, right? End time equals time dot time. So that's when it's all done. Elapsed time, all I got to do is minus when I started to when I end, and that'll run. Okay. So let's copy that in and let's see what happens. I'm gonna put it here. Start time equals time.time for I in range 0. We're going to start and end at 50. We're going to do a 1 second sleep. So what do y'all think it's going to be? Put in your predictions. Yes, it can be any letter, Stephanie. So what do y'all think it's going to be when we run this? What is going to be the elapsed time? Well, we just got to think, what's the start time? Start time is 0, right? It starts instantly. Right? And then, so it's going to start instantly. It's going to print I, and then it's going to wait a second, print the next one, wait a second, print the next one, wait a second, print the next one, wait a second, boom, until we get to the very end. And I'm going to run it, and I want you to start making your predictions at what the elapsed time is going to be. So go ahead and put in what you think the elapsed time is going to be. Oh, it doesn't like my line 30. Why doesn't it like my line 30? It said I have invalid syntax. What did I do? Is it because I have my stuff in caps? I don't think it likes it. Yep, it doesn't, because I have all caps 4. I just copied it and it doesn't like it. It doesn't like my syntax. So let me do for I lowercase in range print I, and then this all needs to be lowercase. Remember, it is case sensitive. So when I just copied and pasted it and it was all capitalized, it did not like it. It's still not going to like it because all of this stuff is still capitalized. So it is like, we don't like it. We don't like what you have going on. So all of this needs to go away. So we're going to do in time equals time dot time. Start time. And that should probably be time dot time here as well. And time dot time. And then elapsed time probably can be capital, but equals in time minus, oh, nope, those are, what did I do? In time minus, I think I had start time capital. That shouldn't matter. And then we're going to print there we go. Alrighty. Now let's run and see if it's still angry at us. It may still be angry at us. It's still not liking what I am doing. So let's see why it is not liking. All right, Stephanie says it should say 1 second or 1 minute. Okay. Double checking my notes here. Seeing why it is angry at me. So let me copy it from here versus trying to just went in and let's see. So we have start time already. End time. Okay. Let's see if it's still angry. It may still be angry. Okay. It's not angry. Alrighty. Francisco ran it already. So he already knows what he got as his elapsed time. But remember, for I in range, 0 to 50. So it's going to do 0, and then 1, then 2, then 3, all the way to 50 with a second in between each. And then it's going to minus the start time from the elapsed time. All right, and Francisco says, so what do we have? Any other guesses? What are we going to get? All righty, Albert says he's assuming it's going to take 50 seconds because it's going to wait a second between every number. So it's going to instantly print 0 and boom. All right, there we go. So what do I get? 50.0112. So 50.01. Francisco got 50.003659. So you go, man, that's a roughly a hundredth of a second difference between what I got at 50.01 and what he got at 50 even, if we're rounding up, right? If we're rounding rather. So I have 50.01, he got 50.00. So you got a hundredth of a second difference. And I'm sure that is literally just the difference in processing power that was given to me for my test and the processing power that was given to him for his test. So the computer speed, server availability, memory availability, that matters. And you see that it came out with a hundredth of a second difference. But either way, if you round to the nearest second, it both took 50 seconds. Okay. So that is good. Great job, you guys. Such a great. You guys are doing absolutely wonderful. Okay, here we go. I'm enjoying being online with you guys. This is great. All right. So clearing the screen, os.system. And if you want a full, you can just Google a full list of commands for Tkinter, for OS, for .time, and you can just literally, I'm sure we could just Google them. Full list of commands for import time, right? Python. Oh, here we go. Time, access, and conversions. And I'm just doing this real time, right, guys? This is giving you time.clock, time.getTime, and you just get it. They do a million different things. There's no class that will teach you every single thing that every import does. You have to research them and just see, hey, what else can I play around with time? You know, full list of commands for Python import NumPy, which is one you'll probably use a lot. And NumPy cheat sheet, and this is a PDF. Unless we don't want a PDF, we want quick start, ND array, shape. So just all of these things you can do. Import NumPy as np.array, np, and you can see all of these arrays. So anyway, if you want just a quick, easy, down and dirty guide, that's just a really easy way to go through all of these imports and learn some really cool stuff. It says looks like the Doom code. All right, arrays. So we're talking about NumPy, and you know, can't do NumPy. I can't do arrays without some really cool NumPy, without importing NumPy. So this page shows you how to use lists as arrays. However, to work with arrays in Python, you'll have to import a library like the NumPy library, which is a very, very popular library for doing this. So create an array containing car names. So you don't just create a list, but we can use lists as arrays. Access the elements of an array. You refer to an array element by referring to the index number. So you can refer to the, so versus just listing things, if we wanted to pull something out of a list, we virtually have turned it into an array, and we can use it via index numbers. All right. So get the value of the first array item, x equals cars, brackets 0. And you guys type in, what would 0 give me? If I said print x, and we did x equals cars, bracket 0, what would that give me? All right, here Modify the value of the first array item, cars bracket 0, now equals Toyota. So now I'm modifying. What did I just modify? You guys tell me. The length of an array. Use the len method to return the length of an array. The number of elements in an array. Example, return the number of elements in the cars array. X equals len cars. What am I doing here? Yes, it will be Ford. Now it says Ford. That's absolutely right. Now, what if I did X equals len, L-E-N, cars, or length cars? What am I going to get there? That's right. Then Ford goes and becomes Toyota. Very good. So what is the length of the cars array now? Because we're using it as an array, not just a list. What is the length of the cars array? Well, you got to ask yourself, how many items are in cars? So if I did for X in cars, print X, what is it going to print? Well, let's just not run through this. Let's play with it. I think I have it kind of pulled up here already, right? Just ready for us. So here we go. Cars equal Ford, Volvo, BMW. Print cars. And you see how I just put these dots up here and it automatically commented out everything above and everything below. Easy way to use comments without having to move stuff around. All right, so here I did cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Print cars. So what is it going to print? There you go. Uh-oh. I left something still running here. There we go. So it's going to print I was just bragging on my use of commenting. All right. Where are we? What is it not liking? What did I do wrong? Oh, I wanted to remove a pin. There we go. All I want to do is, I think I want active. There we go. Cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Print cars. And it is not liking. All right, it wants me to terminate at the end. So I needed to put my little ending comments there. All right. So cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. I said print cars. Notice it doesn't just print Ford, Volvo, BMW. It prints the brackets. It actually prints it as a list, you know, or as an array. It doesn't print it as Ford, Volvo, BMW. But what if I did this? What if I played around with it and just said, you know, for I in cars, print I. What would happen? Now look at it. Look at this. Look what just happened. Isn't this incredible? Now it prints Ford, Volvo, BMW, and it doesn't print it just as an array with brackets and everything. It prints it. Isn't this cool? It prints it as, for I in cars, print I. It prints it as each individual item. This is really, really cool. All right, what else did we do here? Oh, we can say X equals cars.0. Here we go. So now we're going to go X equals cars bracket 0, y'all. And now what if I did print X? Look at that. It prints Ford, Volvo, BMW, because it's cycling through my array, and then it prints cars. Isn't that cool? What else do we have? So what if I now, I'm gonna cut this, and I'm gonna put it at the bottom. Notice my comment is there. And here, I'm gonna go x equals cars.0. And then I'm going to change it. I'm gonna go cars 0 equals Toyota. Cars bracket 0 equals Toyota. Then I'm gonna tell it to print X. And then I'm gonna tell it for I in cars, print I. So what am I gonna get? What am I gonna get, y'all? This is pretty intense. What am I gonna get? Cars equals X equals cars 0. Cars 0 equals Toyota, print X. Am I going to get Ford? This is interesting. Let's run it. Oh, it doesn't like it. Oh, I need to put parentheses. See how this has parentheses? Cars equals Toyota is waiting for a value. So what if I wanted to keep it like that? Let's make this a learning moment. I'd have to come out here and say Toyota equals Toyota vehicles, right? Because this, without a parentheses, is not looking for a word, it's looking for value. It's looking for a variable. So now let's run it and see if it's okay with, it's happy now. Boom. Look at that. It's happy now. So I just did, hey, cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Toyota equals Toyota vehicles. So I made a variable called Toyota. X equals cars.0, which should be Ford, right? And then cars equals 0. Cars 0, which is Ford, equals Toyota, print X. So now when it cycles, guess what? It does Ford, Toyota vehicles, Volvo, BMW. So I tell it, oh, and down here I tell it to for I in cars, print I. So here when I say print X, what is it doing? It's printing that Ford. X equals car 0. So here it's saying, hey, that's Ford. Then I say car 0 equals Toyota, print X. So it's printing Ford. So let me do this. I don't want you to get confused here. I'm gonna just remove that altogether. Now I hit cars brackets equals Toyota, but it doesn't print Toyota. Even though I put cars bracket here equals Toyota, it still prints the X. So X equals cars.0. So it loads it up with Ford, because at this point cars.0 equals Ford. So I guess it's loading it up with Ford. And then when I come down here and say cars.0 equals Toyota, it is not changing it. It is leaving it as Ford. But let's do this. Let's move it below cars 0 equals Toyota. And then X equals cars bracket 0. And now let's see what happens. See, now it runs Toyota vehicles. So if X equals cars is above the change, it loads it up with Ford. But if car 0 is below the change, it loads it up with Toyota vehicles. Isn't that incredible? So whatever, now I'll paste this back. So whatever the value is at the time, X loads that index value. So it loads that index value. So if the index value is Ford, X loads up Ford And even when you change it later, X is already preloaded with Ford. So you might as well just say X equals Ford. If you put it above the change, you might as well just say X equals Ford, because it's going to load up Ford here. So at the time, X equaled cars.0 equals Ford. So it loads up X equals Ford. And then later you change cars, the index value 0 to Toyota, but Ford is already loaded in X. This is a good way, remember this. So this is a good way to do things when you want something to change value. So if you want something to change, if you want to say, hey, you know, you want to write something where it's just like, you know, input, you know, you want to input somebody's username or whatever. And then you later want to ask them for their nickname. And then initially you want to print their their real name, you know, print real name equals input, right? And then, you know, so forth and so on. And then I want to print that real name. But then I want a nickname equals whatever. Or I could do nickname equals real name. Nickname equals nickname equals real name, print nickname. And then I could do nickname equals, and then I can have them input their nickname, user input, and then print nickname. And the first time it's just going to print whatever their real name is. And the next time it'll start calling them Billy or whatever their nickname is, right? So anyway, I don't know if that was helpful at all, but this is just a great example of how whatever, when it runs, remember Python runs top to bottom. So when it runs, X is going to load that original index value. And even when you change it, whatever was loaded at the time is still loaded, but it will reflect the change later. So here we do for I in cars, print I. And you'll see here where it prints the Ford from print X, but it also updates it. So let's not print X here, but it also updates it for I in cars, Toyota vehicles, Volvo, BMW. You no longer see Ford. So it did update it. So now if we just did print cars like we did originally, what we should get, what do you guys think we should get? Go ahead and type it in. What do you think we should get? So now when we print cars, when we initially printed cars, we got an array with Ford, Volvo, BMW shown as an entire array. What do you think we're going to get now? Give you guys a quick second to type in your answer. What are we going to get? Well, let's run it. Look at this. Let me cut this out again. Just run it. So it just does. Now we see Toyota vehicles, Volvo, BMW. And so we did Toyota, Volvo, BMW. That's right. We got the list again just with Toyota. But now let's not print cars. Someone said we get it letter by letter. And I'm sure they're talking about the range, because we did for I in cars, the for loop. If you run the for loop, you don't get, you know, each one letter by letter. To get it letter by letter, I would have to do something like for I in or for L in cars bracket 0. print L. And this should give us letter by letter. I could be wrong. Let's see. And it does. It gives us letter by letter, right? It gives us Toyota vehicles letter by letter. So what is the difference between for I in cars and for L in cars index value 0? Well, there's a big difference. For I in cars is saying, give me the value of cars. So we have our variable, we have our values, Ford, Volvo, BMW. That's what makes up cars. So if I want to know what a car is, I know that it's either going to be a Ford, according to this list, it's going to be a Ford or Volvo or BMW. That's what I'm asking it. What are cars? And you go, well, a car is a Ford, a car is a Volvo, a car is a BMW. So for I in cars is what values do you have in cars? So Ford in parentheses is the first value, Volvo in parentheses is the second value, BMW in parentheses is the third value. But then if I go, hey, what about for L in cars in index value 0? Then that's telling me, hey, this is Ford. This is Ford. Because cars index value 0 is Ford. So I'm saying, what makes up Ford, the value Ford? And it's going to tell me, well, Ford has a F, Ford has an O, Ford has an R, Ford has a D. But we changed Ford to Toyota vehicles, right? So it's going to say Toyota vehicles, because remember we changed it, car 0 equals Toyota, and Toyota equals Toyota vehicles. So then it's just going to give me the T, the O, the Y, the O, because what I'm asking is car 0, which is we changed to Toyota vehicles, what makes it up? And it's going to be like, well, this value is made up of a T, a O, a Y, a O, a T, a A, a V, a E, a, you know, and so forth. So for one, I'm asking what is in cars? What makes up cars? And you go, well, Ford, Volvo, BMW makes up cars. Those are the values in cars. For L, I'm saying, what's the value of Toyota vehicles? And it's like, well, that's a T, a O, a Y, a O, T, A, right? If we wanted to make it simpler, let's get rid of Toyota vehicles. Let's get rid of the change. Because all we have is, we'll get rid of all of this, right? So now when we run it, we should get Ford, Volvo, BMW, cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Then I tell it for L in cars 0. This is Ford, because I commented out where I changed it. We changed it, right? And so I said, hey, what's in cars? Ford, Volvo, BMW. What's in Ford? Ford. Does that make sense? Are we tracking? Is this good? Does this make sense? Let me know if this makes sense. And then we'll move on. All right, I see everyone saying this makes sense. All right, length. So now we got to get our length. X equals length cars, length of cars. So we'll do Y, because we used X a lot. We've used X a whole lot, right? So I'm just going to do Y equals cars, length cars, print Y. So now I'm like, hey guys, what is, I'm just because I want to, so having everything commented out, I like to leave my comments for actual comments. All right. All right. So cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Y equals length cars, print Y. So it should give us our length. How many items are in cars is what I'm asking. Count how many items in cars and tell me. And it's going to tell me, hey, brother, you got a Ford, you have a Volvo, you have a BMW. Okay, fantastic. I have 3 items in cars. Stephanie says it doesn't make sense. What question do you have, Stephanie? Ask a question and then we can answer it. I want everybody to understand. Okay. Cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Y equals length of cars, print Y. So what am I asking? Hey, buddy, how many items are in cars? And you're going, hey, there's 3. It'd be like, hey, how many cars are on the car lot? There's 54 cars on the car lot. Great. That's what I need to know. Alrighty. We kind of loop through. We've already done this for L in cars, print L, and we've already looped through the array here. What else do we have? Alrighty, always ask questions. Don't go over it later. Stephanie says, I'll go over it later. Going over it later isn't going to help you understand it. You just will be lost by yourself. So don't worry about holding us up. The only way you hold us up is by you not understanding it. So we want to make sure you understand it. All right, so leaving you lost doesn't benefit the class. So if you have a question, it's not going to get easier. So stop and ask the question, make sure you understand it. Okay. While she's getting that question together, make sure you ask the question of what you don't understand before we get too far in advance. And we've kind of done looping through here. And once again, you guys have access to the slides. So these, you have these, if you go into the class, you have access to these slides. So you can review these slides at any time. And now that this video is up, you can, of course, loop back through this video. And that was a pun intended, right? Okay. Make sure you loop back through the video. We went over that. Okay. Adding array elements. You can actually append arrays to array. All right. So you had a question with time. What's your question with time? Elapsed time. Okay. What's your question with elapsed time? What is the question? All right, while she's figuring out her question. Okay. Always ask questions, guys. Even if you're watching this after the fact, you can still post your comments. And I want to see your comments, and hopefully I catch the comment and answer. I'll try to answer all the comments I can. Okay. This page shows you how to use lists as arrays. However, to work with arrays in Python, you will have to import a library like NumPy. Okay, did we do this already? Yeah. Adding array elements. You can use the append method to add an element to an array. For example, add one more element to the cars by cars.append Honda. Okay, Stephanie says her time didn't run. So let's go over here. And we are going to go back to, where do we have time? Okay, we had it here. Alrighty, so I just imported time. You don't have to worry about NumPy OS to Kinter. I was just showing how imports work. I did message equals any message you want. I put hi, I'm trying to create suspense. Hello equals hello birdie. And I just did start time equals time.time parentheses. So that's just saying, hey, just go ahead and start now. For I in range, 0 to 50. So go from 0 to 50. Print I. So for I in range is 0 to 50. So it's going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm going to make it delay by 1 second. So time dot sleep in parentheses 1 second. Time dot sleep parentheses 1 second. So 0 instantly, then 1 second delay. 1 instantly, 1 second delay. All right. And then 50 once it hits 50, it's not going to do that 1 second delay. If we did, we'd have 51 1 second delays instead of 50 delays, because after 50, so it's going to do 0, then it's going to get to 49, then 1, right? That's the 50th one. And then 50 instantly. So we know we'll always be at least 50 point something, right? Because you're going to have 51 second delays plus number 5 and how quickly, you know, the 100th or 1,000th of a second that it prints out 50, right? And then end time equals time.time. So start time equals time.time. Start it right now. End time equals time.time. So I'm saying start time equals time.time. It's starting right now. Boom. Capture now. End time equals time.time. Capture right now. Elapsed time equals end time, which ended after the elapsing. Start time, which started before everything started elapsing. And then all I did was say print elapsed time. And that's it. Elapsed time equals this percentage in seconds, this modulus elapsed time. And then it's just going to print the elapsed time. And actually, let's not make this 50 because that's going to be too long. Let's just make it 5 just for time's sake. Uh-oh. What are you not liking? Oh, 66. Let me get you out of here. Let's comment it out, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is going to be a little bit more because I have something else. So 5.000. Now it's printing my suspense message. I probably just need to create a new one. But anyway. So that was it. Elapsed time equals 5.00005. See how it's tenths, thousandths, hundredths, thousandths, what, millionths of a second? If I did that correctly, that 5, which delay gets less because we're going just to 5 versus to 50. And that's how mine ran. Let me know if that answered your question. Okay. While I wait for her to respond, we're on a bit of a delay from the time I say it to the time you hear me. So if I'm moving on, it's not to ever bypass one of your questions. It's just I don't want there to be a big gap of empty space between me talking and waiting for you to actually hear my response. So there's just understand there's a delay. It's not happening. This isn't happening in real time. There's a delay between me and you. So if I'm moving on and then I come back to you, it's simply because I'm feeling that space of time. Okay. All right. Stephanie says she got it. All righty. Awesome. Yes. If you just tried to copy it and paste it, Stephanie, the slide capitalized everything and nothing should be capitalized. Start, when you're setting a variable, it doesn't matter that it's capitalized. So start time doesn't matter. Elapsed time doesn't matter because those are just variables. End time doesn't matter because those are variables. But time.time does matter. Everything else does matter and should be lowercase. Technically, everything should be lowercase. Print, when you use parentheses, that's just text, so that doesn't matter. And variables, of course, don't matter either. But and then, of course, text inside of a variable in parentheses doesn't matter. But anything that it needs to execute, like for I in range, all of that needs to print. Time.sleep, it's all lowercase. Because remember, Python is case sensitive. Okay. Let's do append. So going back to cars here. I'm gonna do Cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Let me see if I'm crashing something. I'm sure I am. Line 28. I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different here. Line 63 means whatever's before it is not happy. I don't know. You should be happy. Why aren't you happy? Oh, I used double quotes instead of single quotes. That's why I'm not happy. Alrighty. So cars equals Ford, Volvo. And then if I come down here and I do print cars, I don't think it likes what I'm doing here. I don't think Code HS is happy with my little shortcuts here. Maybe if I save it, it'll be more happy with me. I don't think it is. You're still not happy with me? All right, it is not happy with me. It's not going to let me do this little car shortcut that I wanted to do. I'm clearly doing something wrong. Alrighty, so we'll just do it from here. All right. It is just not thrilled with me at all. Oh, let me erase you. Sorry. There we go. So cars equals Ford, Volvo, BMW. Print cars. What I was trying to do is just create another module, guys, and run things off of those modules. Hadn't done it in a while, and I've honestly just forgotten how to do it. I thought I could just import it, but it didn't work that way. I have to sharpen up and see how to correctly do it. Alrighty, so now we're just going to append, just like we said in the slide, cars.append, and then we just parentheses Honda. Cars.append. And I'll find out on our break, guys, what I was doing wrong. All right. And now when I hit run, it has added Honda to the list. So the question is, why hasn't it printed out Honda? Go ahead and put that in there. Why didn't it print out Honda? I added it to the list. Why didn't it print out Honda? Well, it's because I told it to print before the append. Now I've appended it. Now let's print. So now we did Ford, Volvo, BMW, Ford, Volvo, BMW, Honda. Right. And let's do something else. Let's make another list. All right, so let's make another list. We're gonna make another list. Cars. Let's do planes. No, let's do U.S. cars, and let's do a Ford. And we'll just make one of U.S. cars. Tesla. And is Chrysler still U.S.? I know Dodge has been forward to an international broker, but we'll just go Rivian. All right. And this would be Volvo, BMW, Lexus. Okay. So we're going to run it again. So now it should say Lexus, Volvo, BMW like it does. We added Honda. So maybe we'll make this foreign cars. Or maybe just F cars because I'm lazy. No, we'll do foreign. Foreign cars, print, foreign cars, foreign cars, dot append, foreign cars. Okay. And now what if we just wanted to make total cars? Could we do something like just all cars equals US cars plus foreign cars? Is that how we do it? Do we need to use the append? Let's do print all cars. Actually, that's import time. Let's make this fun. And time dot sleep. And we'll do 15, 25. All right, there we go. Apparently that's what needed to happen. And we'll see if that works with all cars. So let's see what is happening. So it printed foreign cars, Lexus, Volvo, BMW. And then we did the append to Honda, Lexus, Volvo, BMW, Honda. Then we said, what I should have did is print US cars to show you that it prints US cars. But look at that. I told it all cars equals US cars plus foreign cars. So what did it do? US cars, Ford, Tesla, Rivian, Lexus, Volvo, BMW. Shabam. So now I have one that says all cars. So that means now, and notice though, it did not print Honda. We saw this before. Why did it not print Honda? Someone tell me. For extra cool points. Why did it not print Honda? We know the answer to this. Why did it not print Honda? Well, we know why, right? Because we said US cars, all cars equals US cars plus foreign cars. So when it loaded all of the values into all cars, Honda wasn't there, right? So man, so how do we get, what if we want the most accurate list? What if we want the most updated list, right? We wanted to give, so here we say print all cars, but all cars has changed. So we may need some type of function that updates to the latest, right? Or maybe we just put Now we know a cheat would be just to put it right before the print statement, right? But do we want to do that every single time? Because we know if we put it right before the print statement, it would work, right? Because it would give us the latest version. I'm gonna remove the time.sleep here. I'm gonna do print US cars, and then update all cars, and then print. And see if we get it the latest. Lexus, Volvo, BMW. We appended Honda, so next we get Honda. American cars, Ford, Tesla, Rivian. Then we add them together, and now we get Ford, Tesla, Rivian, Lexus, Volvo, BMW, and Honda. Perfect. All of the cars are there. But if we do all cars here, or at the top, U.S. cars, foreign cars, we got to put it under. We can't put it above. What happens if we put all cars here and it says U.S. cars plus foreign cars? Is it going to be happy? It's not going to be happy, right? Because we're calling for variables that don't even exist. So if we put it here and we say, hey, man, we're going to put it above U.S. cars and foreign cars, it might not be happy. It might say, hey, man, you're calling for stuff. Look, there's no such thing as U.S. cars, no such thing as foreign cars, because I'm adding them in here, but I don't create them to here. So when Python gets to line 3, it's looking for U.S. cars and foreign cars, but they don't exist to line 4. So it's like, hey, what? I don't like what you're doing. So we have to put it after here. Okay. So that's one way to do it. If you put it right before the print statement, you get everything, but you say, hey, there has to be a way, and you're right. There's a way to make it check to see if you can to like see what the latest is. All right, let's take a maybe 3-minute break, and we will be back in 3 minutes. And if you're watching a recording of this, you can just fast forward, but we'll be back in 3 minutes. So go ahead and take your bathroom breaks, grab you a snack, and I'll see you in 3 minutes. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment them right now. Alrighty, once you're back on, go ahead and type your name. Once you're back on, go ahead and type your name. Alrighty, I got you, Albert. I got you, Stephanie. Alrighty, so I did figure out what I did incorrectly here with cars.py. So I could have done it two ways. I could have just I did import. So this is where I made a mistake. I did import cars.py. And then I think I did as CP, right? Which would have allowed me to do basically do CP dot whatever in here. So if I did define cars one, print cars, I should have been able to do CP dot cars one and it runs, right? But when I do CP dot cars one, it didn't run. It gave me an error, right? And I'm like, why did you give me an error? Why don't you like me? So I didn't need to do C.py. I think I could have just did import cars or CP and it works. And bada bing. So that was my error, putting .py on it. So now let me do something else. Cars one, we'll do cars equals, let's do cars we hadn't done, Mercedes, McLaren, and I don't know, Maybach. And now I hit run. Oh, yeah, I'm not getting what I want. Print cars. So I should be able to do CP dot cars one. Oh, that still didn't work. Not sure why. So let's try this something else from cars. Import cars one. And it is not like it imports. Import. It might be better. There we go. Import cars one. And I had issues doing this last year with this program as well. And I'm just not really sure why it just doesn't like. Okay, no, that worked. All right, for some reason, when you do import cars, it does not like it. Not sure why. Let's try that again. I don't know. That should have just worked. Import cars. It does not like it. All right, maybe you guys can tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I have no idea why it does not like it. But I can go from cars, import cars 1, anywhere it's fine. No idea why. We'll just have to see why. So anyway, what I'm doing is from cars. So saying from this module, cars, import cars 1, which is the function I created right here, cars 1. So, and it's totally happy running it. And I just don't know why I have to import each individual function and can't just do import cars as CP and then just do cp.cars. I'm sure it's something. Oh, that worked. What in the world? So it did let me do that. So now I can just call functions that I create over here as I'd like to run them, which is beautiful. So to let me do import cars as CP, which means now I have access to all of the functions I create in cars module and not just one, versus doing from cars import cars 1, which only gives me access to cars 1. So it won't let me just just do import cars and run. It's just not going to do it, but I can do import cars as CP, and that's not going to work until I put CP here. Okay. I'm sure some smart person will tell me what I'm doing wrong that watches this. So I can do import cars as CP. So it wants that defining variable there, or I can do from cars import cars 1, and then I don't no longer need CP, and then it'll just run. I guess what it's saying is I don't want to just like import everything. Like from this module, I'm not going to let you just import everything. You're going to have to either choose a specific function to import, or you can import everything if you import it as something, as CP, EP, Delta, whatever, right? And then you put that as a prefix. So, all right. So, which I'm gonna start doing that. That way, when we have different functions, instead of just creating a super long deal here, I can just, create different modules and just call it as I see it there. All right. That way, if I need to go back to time or any other specific thing, I can just more easily do that. All right. So, all right. Somebody says I can't see it. All right. Somebody's saying they can't see. What can't you guys see? What am I missing here? What can't you guys see? All right, so we did append. Let's moving on. Removing, there's a couple different ways you can remove something. You can pop it or just remove it. So let's learn the difference between popping and remove it. What you are typing. Oh, for some reason, guys, okay. So it locked. I'm typing, but for some reason the screen is frozen here. So even when I come over, all right, thanks for letting me know. Let me see why the screen here is frozen. I'm not sure why, but we can see why. Alrighty, and then we can do go back to application capture and Chrome. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. Thank you for letting me know. Alrighty, so what I was doing was, if you remember, I came over here and I created cars.py, so Python file, the second module called cars, and I could not access it. I created this function cars1 and I could not access it. And I changed the variables, which you couldn't see. I changed the variables from Ford, Volvo, BMW to Mercedes, McLaren, Maybach. And I'll call this luxury cars, Lux cars. Right. So with Lux cars here, I wanted to come over here and I wanted to import cars.py, right? And then I was just like, all right, you know, run cars1, which is the name of my function. But when I did that, it broke. It wouldn't run. It's just like, no, we're not doing that. And I couldn't understand why. And I did import cars.py as CP, which means now it's a prefix. I do cp.cars and boom, it still would not run. I don't know why I couldn't access the stuff out of my module over here. So during the break, I just like, what am I doing wrong here? So what I did need is I did not need the .py. I could have imported cars as CP, and now any function in cars, I can just call it my main function by going CP dot whatever function, and boom, it works. All right. So now I can do cp.cars1 and it should run Lux cars. There we go. And it should run. What am I doing? Lux cars equals Mercedes and print Lux cars. All right. Cars1, cp dot cars1. So if I do import cars as cp dot cars1, it should work. And it just did work. Not sure why it's not working now. So let's do from cars, which is my module here. Import cars1. So now I'm just importing the actual function cars1 into my main here. And let's see if that works. I have no idea. This was literally just working. From cars, import cars1. I have no idea what literally just happened. So let's try that again. What it did not do was, let me just import cars by itself. But if I did import cars as something else, let's do CR, and then we'll do CR.cars. That actually did work, and I have no idea what has happened and why it is not happy anymore. So define cars, make sure my spacing is correct. Lux cars, print Lux cars. Okay, make sure you guys can see what I'm typing. You should be able to see what I'm typing now. All right, so not sure why this just went nuts on me. It was literally working when the screen was frozen, and now unfreeze the screen and it is not working. But I should be able to just import cars as CR or CP or whatever I would want, and then do cars1, and it runs. Okay. I forgot to put the brackets. My fault. I forgot. See how something small makes such a big difference? I forgot to put my brackets Let me make my screen bigger here. Hopefully that helps. You guys see a little bit better, a little bit better. All right, so I just forgot to put these brackets. So import cars as CR. So now I can access every function in cars as just using the CR prefix, cr.cars1, and then you see Mercedes, McLaren, Maybach, and that worked. Or I can do, so I can just import cars. So I've created other modules, which almost are like other libraries, right? Just like an import in time. That library, I can import cars, and kind of cars becomes a library in a sense that I can call things. So cr.cars.1, parentheses, because it's a function, and there we go, Mercedes, McLaren. Or I can do from cars, import cars1. And now I don't need to put CR. I can just put cars1, and it will run it. There we go. So it worked. I just forgot. I forgot my parentheses. It happens to the best of us. Okay. But what did not work was me just going import cars. It was like, we don't know what to do with that, and we're not going to help you. So then it's just like error. Cars1 is not defined. Did you mean cars? I did not mean cars. I meant cars1. See, now it's like Kyber module object is not callable, so you can't call the module. So no, it will not just allow you to do import cars, but I can do import cars as CP, CR, whatever, and then just do CR in front of whatever I want to call from that. cr.cars1 parentheses, and do it that way, which is probably how I will do it in the future. I will just import cars or CR, import something. And the reason I'll do this because it just allows me to have modules that are clean. So this could be all of my car stuff, right? So this whole US cars, print all cars, I could literally just have, for teaching purposes, all of my car stuff here, right? And then I could just create another function as, or not create another function, just do all of this stuff as, and I would not probably have different functions, but just for example here, all of this stuff just in cars1, right? So now, and this is a poor example of why you would do this, but this is how I'm going to do it just for the sake of teaching this class right now. Okay, so now it just kind of cleaned up all of this stuff. And now when I do CR cars1 on my main, I just have this, right? All right, so luxury cars, Mercedes, McLaren, Maybach, print luxury cars, US cars, Ford, Tesla, Rivian, foreign cars, Lexus, Volvo, BMW, all cars, US cars plus foreign cars. Now notice when I print it, foreign cars first. So let's remove these print statements. We're going to take out print. We're going to take out all of our print statements for now. Okay. We're just going to comment them out. And all I want to do is print foreign cars. So then when I do it, Lexus, Volvo, BMW. But let's say I print foreign cars here at the bottom. It adds Honda. So my question is, why didn't it, you know, I have to put that print statement down here, but we did something else. And here we go. We append it, and we're going to just take all of this stuff. Come on. We're going to take all of our car stuff, and we're just going to put it in cars. Okay. And just highlight all of the stuff and hit tab. So it tabs over. Okay. So We did Toyota equals Toyota vehicles, X equals cars. So we have cars in here. I don't know, we changed it to US cars, right? And foreign cars. Toyota equals Toyota vehicles, X equals foreign cars, 0, which should give us Lexus. And then car 0 equals Toyota. Print cars for iron cars, right? And we did all of this stuff. The problem was we loaded foreign cars in X and got Lexus, right? But then we changed it to Toyota. Oh no. So how do we get the most recent vehicle? And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to just go ahead and delete all of this. Okay. All right. So now when I hit print, coming back to here, we have our luxury cars, Mercedes, McLaren, Maybach. We have our US cars, Ford, Tesla, Rivian. We have our foreign cars, Lexus, Volvo, BMW. We have all cars, US cars plus foreign cars. The problem, all right, I go here, print all cars, which should be US cars plus foreign cars. And I should have everything in there, right? And I'm just gonna do here, go here. And we got Ford, Tesla, Rivian, Lexus, Volvo, BMW. Where's Honda? That, do you append? That's a good question, Stephanie. So my question is, I was told it to print all cars. But remember, it just takes a snapshot. When I do luxury cars, this is what that equals. Mercedes, McLaren, Maybach. US cars, Ford, Tesla, Rivian. Foreign cars, Lexus, Volvo, BMW. Then I say all cars equals US cars plus foreign cars. Why doesn't it print? And then when I come out here and print all cars, I did an append with Honda to foreign cars. When I do print all cars, it leaves Honda off. And the reason it leaves Honda off is because, remember, if I do it this way, it's just a snapshot. All cars at the time it was created was US cars plus foreign cars. It did not include the Honda. That didn't happen till later. So on line 8, when this ran, all cars didn't include Honda. So it was true. So that's what all cars is. But then I later appended to Honda, and when I hit print all cars, it left off Honda. So the question is, that's right, Stephanie, it's like it didn't include Honda. Why didn't it include Honda? See, if I print foreign cars, I should get Honda. So there we go. So as of line 15, foreign cars includes Honda. But line 16, which is after 15, should include Honda in all cars, but it doesn't, because all cars is foreign cars plus US cars. It does not work. So how do we get it? Because think about it, you write a program, you're going to be updating things all the time. You don't want certain things, you want to take a snapshot. You're like, I want you to freeze this in time, don't change it. But other times you don't want it to take a snapshot. You want it to actually be whatever it is. So how do we do that? I'm going to show you. So instead of going all cars equals US plus foreign cars, what we're going to do is this. We're going to make all cars something different. So I'm going to hashtag that out. And I'm going to just come down here. Right? And I'm just going to create something called all cars. All cars, right? And then I'm going to tell it, hey, I'm going to create a function called all cars. So now, so 7 says, well, go back and include it. I did include it. I did foreign cars dot append dot Honda. So that would have added it here. So yes, if I would have just went to foreign cars and I would just added Honda here, comma dot Honda, it would have shown up. But the problem with this is, let's say I have 10,000 lines of code and I have 55 lists that need to update. And I have to go through all of that 55,000 lines of code just to include something here and include something there. A new user, somebody logs onto my website and now they input their first name, last name, mailing address, all of this. Do I want to have to manually go in and add first name over here? No, it'd be impossible. What I wanted to do is just automatically update that list, or update that array. I wanted to append. But if I append it and then I go print out the new list and it doesn't include them, that's a problem. So here's a better way. I'm going to go define all cars and I'm going to do return. So what return does says, see what these lists are right now and then print them. So see what they are, what they are right now in real time and print them. So this is huge. Return is, I just create a variable. Variable is just going to take a snapshot. That's all the variable is going to do. It's going to create a snapshot, and that snapshot is it. It's going to create the snapshot, and that's all you're going to get. Whatever's in that snapshot, that's it. But return was working in real time. So I'm gonna still do the same thing. Remember I did US cars plus foreign cars? I'm gonna still do that. Define all cars. I did here, all cars equals US cars plus foreign cars. But it took a snapshot of what US cars and foreign cars were as of line 8. And that's what all cars became. It was a snapshot of what it was on line 8. We're on line 12. I appended it. It doesn't care that I appended it further down. When it took the picture, cha-ching, it captured at line 8. So anything I modify later doesn't work, right? So I'll give an example. I'm going to do all cars V for variable. Then I'm going to do print all cars V here. And you already know it's not going to do it. And then I'm going to define all cars without a V as return here. And then I can just come down here and tell it to, hey, print all cars, which should give me another list. And then here I'll call all cars parentheses. All right. So let's see what this is going to do at first. Okay. So what this is going to do, I run it. Lexus, Volvo, BMW, Honda. And then Ford, Tesla, Rivian, Lexus, Volvo, BMW. So I did print foreign cars and you can see Honda is included. But then when I print all cars, Honda is not included. It did not append on line 12. It did not update. So now let's create a function. And we're going to run it. Let's see if our function works. Oh, it didn't like our function. Let's see what happened. Name error US cars. Uh-oh. Oh, so this is great. Why did this not work? This is so good, guys. I'm looking at your comments. I want to see if you can guess why this did not work and how I can fix it. Why did this not work and how can I fix it? I'm waiting on you guys' answer. How can I fix it? We went over this. Why did it not work and how can I fix it? Okay. The reason it didn't work because this is defined inside of a function, which means it's inside of that world only. And this is inside of this world only, right? So if I want US cars and foreign cars to be called outside, I have to make them global. I have to make them global, guys. Now they're accessible anywhere. And now they're going to be happy. All right, it's not happy. All right, let's see why this is not happy. I do a global variable. It's not liking it. Let's make sure that I see what I'm doing wrong. We get to troubleshoot in real time. I love it. So when we run it, it is happy. The minute we make them global, it's not happy. Why aren't you happy, buddy? Does not like the fact that we made these global variables. While I research why it's not happy, we'll just put them outside of the function, which will automatically make them global. Alrighty, so all the world is good. But now it may not like my append. We'll see. It's happy with my append. Okay. So Lexus, Volvo, BMW, Honda, Lexus, Volvo. Alrighty, good. It is happy. All right, define all cars, return US cars plus foreign cars. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just come down here and tell it, hey, print all cars, which if we did this right, should print Honda. Boom. Alrighty. So let me comment out these other two print statements. So we're only getting the last print statement, and let's see if it worked. No, it did not work. What in the world? We're not getting Honda. So we get to do the real stuff. We get to troubleshoot why this isn't working. Because the return should update automatically and give us US cars plus foreign cars. Return, so it should update it in real time after the append and then print it out. What is not, why is it's not happy with me for some reason? Checking my notes here. This is pretty good, guys. Not sure why it is not pulling up my return. It should be. So we see here, so let me comment this out so we can all understand the problem. So we have all cars here, all cars V. And then we have print foreign cars, print US cars. And when we print them, you see the Honda is not represented after the append. So return should have automatically updated it. So we got after the append. Let me do my little checker over here. Oh, I think I know what I did. I know exactly what I did, guys. I forget I am not working inside of the main. I am working inside of an alternate module. So if I want this to run, I got to come back to my main over here and do cr dot. Totally forgot. Spaced out for a minute. Sorry. Alrighty. And now we should get it. All right, so I'm gonna print all cars there. Alrighty, return US cars, and then I want to print. Yeah, so that's all cars V. Then I want to print all cars. CR dot all cars. All right, I'm gonna just do a test print to make sure it's printing here. Hello. CR dot all cars. For some reason it is not liking when I go to different modules. So let's call this something all cars. There we go. All right, guys, we're gonna have to troubleshoot this later and find out why it is not wanting to pop up for me. Because it is not, let me save it. Maybe it needs to be saved. For some reason, it is not going to another module. It is absolutely not happy. If this was in the main module, it'd be running fine because it's just going to read top to bottom. But when I'm calling these functions, some reason it'll do cars. Let me comment out cars and see if it'll just run all cars. No. So I'm not sure why these imports are just going absolutely bananas, guys. I'm going to change the name on here just to import AC. Call this print AC. AC. Nope. It is not happy. So I'm not sure, guys, why it's doing this import. Not wanting to do this import. And I don't want us to burn up too much time, but I will figure out why it is not doing this import of the second function. It is just not happy with this import. And we're going to figure out why it's not loving this import. Because it should just run this import just like any other import. And it's not even doing something simple like printing hello. Okay, so we're not going to take too much time, and I'm going to troubleshoot it and why it didn't like those global variables inside of here. So we'll figure it out and I'll get with you. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and move on. And then I'll let you know next class why this didn't work. Or maybe I'll figure it out on the break. Okay. All right. So 2 ways to get rid of something inside of a module. One is pop, which deletes the second element of the cars one. So cars.pop, and then I can put in an index value. So if I wanted to pop index 0, index 1, index 2, I can do cars.pop 0 or cars.pop 1, cars.pop 2, or I can do cars.remove Volvo. So remove is I'm naming the item I want to be removed. So cars.remove, and I'm just naming the item I want to be removed. Or cars.pop, where I am listing the index value. So let's try both of these. So let's see if we can remove Ford, and we'll go to print US cars, and it should just print the US cars. All right, and if I do cars.pop 0, it should remove Ford, but remember, it's going to print Ford first. So I'm going to do print US cars, and then we'll see what's going on. Oh, it's frozen again. Is it frozen again? Oh my goodness, guys. All righty. Thanks for letting me know. Not sure why it is frozen. I think it's the application. So we'll have to figure out why it's frozen. We'll figure that out for next time. Okay. All righty. So cars.pop 0, print US cars. So let's do it twice here. Let's run it again so you can see it. Oh, I put car. Should have put cars. What are we? Oh, excuse me. We're doing US cars. Sorry. US cars. I need more tea. I don't drink coffee, so not anymore. But here we go. Ford, Tesla, Rivian. You see that everything that is in there is all there. Ford, Tesla, Rivian. Then when I did US cars.pop 0, it removed Ford. Now, what if I wanted to remove the next one, Tesla? So let's do US cars.remove, and I'm going to do Tesla. Then I'm going to print US cars again. Oh my goodness, it is frozen again. I don't know why it keeps freezing, guys. I don't think this software likes. Let me do it this way. I'm gonna do display. There's another way I can do this, and hopefully that keeps it from freezing. All right, sorry about that, guys. We're just having all kind of little technical difficulties here, but this is our first time doing this virtually, so we can just kind of anticipate there being some glitches here, but we'll work them out, and every time it'll get better. I appreciate your patience. I truly do. Okay, so here we have, let me shrink it down. I'm gonna shrink it down just a tiny little bit, guys, just so we can include more on the screen. Hopefully that's not too small. Okay, so we have US cars, Ford, Tesla, Rivian, right? And when we do print US cars, we get Ford, Tesla, Rivian, right? And then next I say, you know, we wanted to remove the first index, so do US cars.pop. So pop is popping indexes, remove is removing values. So you can remember pop, if when I want to pop the index, and remove is when I want to remove a value. So popping indexes or removing values. Popping indexes, removing values. All right, hopefully that sticks it in your brain. All right, US cars dot pop the index of 0. So it's going to remove the value at 0, which it did, which gave us just Tesla Rivian. And then I said, hey, let's US cars dot remove. Let's remove Tesla. And it did, because now it was Ford Tesla Rivian, and then we popped Ford to leave Tesla Rivian. Then we removed Tesla just to have Rivian. So US cars dot pop, then US cars dot remove. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. All right. So let's see if I can go big screen, and we're going to actually try to make it crash this time and see if we can make it freeze on purpose. And maybe we can, and maybe we can't. And maybe this is, before I was just sharing the browser with Google Chrome, and now I'm just sharing the entire screen, and maybe that makes it happier, so it doesn't freeze on us. Okay, just like I said, you can do a list of array, just like we could Google search, import NumPy, and all of the commands, or import time and all of those commands. We can also research array methods and array commands. So you have a pin, which we know adds something, and we have clear, which removes all the elements in a list. So instead of US cars dot pop, we could do US cars dot, of course, a pin, clear, completely erases the list. Copy returns a copy of the list. Count returns a number of elements in the list. So what else could we do that? We could do for I, we did it before, right? And we wanted something to give us the number. So let's go back. I think maybe we had it in here. Well, I think it gave us a number of the items inside of the array. And we wanted something 3. I think it was when we went through, I may have erased it now, where before we printed out everything in the array, or we did, but then we went to length. If you remember, length, len, parentheses, say US cars, and it give us the length of the array. Here, we can just tell it, hey, just count what's in there. Returns a number of elements with the specified value. So we can say count, hey, count, I don't know how many times Volvo is in here, and it'll count and bring us back a value, a number, versus printing out that value. It's actually just counting. All right, extend, add the elements of a list or any iterable, so anything that can be iterated through to the end of the current list. So you can glue 2 lists together. We know the index returns the index of the first element with the specified value. So if I did, let's do it. Let's say I want the index value of US cars dot index Rivian. It should give me the index value of Rivian. Oh, let me stop it. What do you think the index value is going to be? I'll give you guys a minute. What do you think the index value is going to be? Is it frozen again? You've got to be kidding me. All right, well, we were trying to make it freeze, and I guess we accomplished that value. All right, let me switch it back to application. Alrighty, so we're gonna have to find a different program for doing this. We can't have this freezing up on us. Alrighty, so I stopped it. So what do we think when I say uscars.index Rivian? What am I going to get? Give you guys a minute to respond. So if I'm saying uscars.index, and we know that the index value is, blow this up a little. And this just seems to be shrinking. Okay, we know the index returns the index of the first element with the specified value. It's going to tell us where it's located. All right, Albert says 3. Stephanie says Google Meet. I think you're right, Stephanie. We might need to start using that so it doesn't freeze. But I don't think Google Meet records, so we'll have to figure it out. All right, so Albert says 3. So I just want to pose the question here. So Ford, Tesla, Rivian. Ford is 0, Tesla is 1, Rivian is 2. So the highest value that it could return would be 2. That's the highest value. But keep in mind, we've popped Ford and we've removed Tesla. So is it going to give us 2? Is it going to give us 1? Is it going to give us 0? What are we thinking here? What is it going to give us? All right, Francisco saying 2. Albert saying 2. All right, let's run it. And remember the pops. Remember the... Okay, let's do this. Let's see what it gives us. 0. Gives us 0. That is correct. It's going to give us 0. Why is it giving us 0? Because remember, everything counts at the line it's on. So if we would have put it before the removal and the pop, it would have given us 2. After the pop, it would have given us 1 because they would have popped Ford, leaving Tesla and Rivian as 0 and 1. Right? So if we did it before the pop, it would have given us 2. After the pop, it would have given us 1. But then after we remove Tesla, it's giving us 0. It's giving us 0. All right. It's giving us 0. Actually, Aber makes a good point. It is the first in the sequence. So let's remove this. He's absolutely right. It's the first in the sequence. Great catch, Albert. So let's remove the pop. And let's remove the remove. I think all of these freezes are throwing me off. Here we go. So remove the pop. We remove the remove. Up. Gave us 2. Gave us 2. So what is the index value after, without the pop and remove? 2. After the pop, after the remove, 0. So that was right. So it's in the index value 2 here. And then after the pop, it's in the index value 1. Then after remove, it's an index value 0. So here, in this first print, index 2, second print, index 1, last print, index 0. Alrighty. On that note, let's take 3 minutes and we'll come back. And over the break, I'm going to try to figure out why the global didn't work and why this thing is not pulling, did not want to run the second function. So I'm going to do some research over the break. You guys take a quick bathroom break. And if you're watching after the fact, you can just fast forward through it. And we'll hope the screen doesn't freeze while we're gone. All right. See you in 3 minutes. All righty. Let's go ahead and jump back in. All right. I'm not sure why. Okay, that took a minute to kind of adjust there. Okay. All right, go ahead and type your name. And we're going to end a little bit early today, guys. Like I said, I want to give you guys time to prepare for this winter chill or whatever that is supposed to be coming. And so go ahead and type your name in as you arrive. Alrighty. So I figured out what was going on with during the break, like I said I would, what was going on with not being able to call here. So what happened is simply nothing calls after a return. So anything you put after a return, and like I said, I hadn't done this in a while, built these, so I just simply forgot. But anything after a return does not call. So I put a print value here, and it simply did not call. So instead of coming here and putting, cr.ac and calling cr.ac, which would have worked if, and just print AC or whatever, but which kind of creates a little bit of a redundancy or recursion, but anything after the return doesn't work. And if I were to come outside like I did, once again forgetting that I'm working in a module and not the main, and just put, all right, we'll just print AC here. It's not going to print, duh, because I'm not calling it. I called function cars1, I called function AC, and this isn't being called at all because it's not in one of those functions. And if it was in this function after return, it still wouldn't be called. So me just being an airhead, forgetting that I'm outside of the main. Now, if this was in the main, this would have worked. It would just, I tried that, it would have just worked, and it would have printed. But I'm not in the main, I'm in a module, like being in a library. So if I don't call it in the main, then it's not going to run. So what I want is it to print. So I can just come here and print and say print cr.ac, and then it gives me my values. So boom, there we go. And if you notice, Honda's in my value. So I'm not going to call cars right now. I'm just going to call cr.ac, which is AC for all cars. And boom. I'm not sure why it printed it twice. But now you see it is printing. Let me hashtag that out. What? It is still printing. Is it printing from my import? It absolutely is. So it is printing from, which I don't think it should do that, actually. It is printing from my import without being called. Well, Bob's your uncle. I don't think it should do that, but it is still running my print statement without being called from my module. So, hey, there we have it. So this is a little bit different coding software, being that it's online and it's a teaching software, so it behaves a little bit different. But I don't think that's supposed to happen. So but nonetheless, maybe it is. But it is running from my import cars SCR. So without calling it, for some reason, it is still running it. So that's fine. So print AC here is still printing it. However, let's undo all of these pops because I'm popping stuff and I'm removing stuff. All right. Hopefully it didn't freeze again. Okay. You guys are still there. But someone's very observant. Albert said it did not append. It did not. So it should have appended Honda. Where's Honda? So foreign cars dot append Honda. And then when I did return US cars plus foreign cars, it should have appended Honda. And it just definitely did not. We cannot get Honda to append. It is still, which it should not be, taking a snapshot of US cars, foreign cars. Ah, I know why. Let's try this, but it doesn't like my global variables. So we're going to have to figure out global variables. Actually, no, let's do this. We're going to do some troubleshooting, guys. This is the cool thing about being online. We can play around with some stuff in real time. So I want to do a quick little bit of troubleshooting here, because I want to print foreign cars. And here when I print foreign cars, which I'm printing here after the append, but let me run this. Let me run cars 1 because I have to run cars 1 because cars 1 is where it appends. So right now it's just using cars and foreign cars. I have not run cars 1, so I have not run Honda the append. So let's run cars 1. So this should append it, and then that should have it appended there. So I'm gonna comment out all of these print statements because I don't want any of this stuff printing. The only thing I want to print is AC. Okay, so let's see. And Honda, cross your fingers, should be there. All right, and it is. So let me print foreign cars. Foreign cars includes Honda. Why does it include Honda? Because I've run cars 1. And so before, what we did was we had US cars and foreign cars inside of this function. So when we ran the function, it appended there and it did our print statements. So here we're not doing that. We are just saying, hey, return US cars, print foreign cars, right? But if we don't actually run the function cars 1 where append is, it never appends. So what do? We run cars 1, it appends Honda to foreign cars. So now when we run that function, so it appends, it runs a function that appends cars there. And now when I go, hey, return US cars. Oh, I hadn't done that. I just said print foreign cars. It prints Honda. Now let's comment that out. Let's print AC, all cars, see if it includes Honda. And it does. So we have the victory here. We was able to get it to append, and we were able to get it to print out. So So then this is different than what we did before, would just print the cars. Here we're seeing a little bit of an update here. All righty. All right. Al said, if you print AC on the main module, it worked, didn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to work either way. It doesn't matter where I print it from. So let's go to the main module and print cr.ac. And when we print cr.ac, we see Honda there as well. So we could have printed it here on the main module, or here in this module, we can print it, and it works both ways. Alrighty. So it took us, we had to kind of go around our ankles to get to our elbows there, as they say, but it worked. I'm not sure where that expression came from, but it's a pretty old expression. So we've learned a bunch of different stuff. For one, we learned how to create just additional modules and use them. Like I said, I hadn't done that in a while. I hadn't done modules since last year, so I just got to remember a little bit. All right, so create a different module. We also learned that we don't necessarily have to call it. So import cars as CR, I can just run a function from here and just do cr.cars, or once I import cars as CR, I can just do my stuff here as normal and it runs just fine. All right. Actually, let's do plus luxury cars. We're going to do all cars. We have Lux cars as well. Somewhere in here. It doesn't like our Lux cars because it wants us in here to be globally. There we go. And then we get all of our cars. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty, so we have modules. Stephanie says she's super comfortable with modules, so we'll start doing more module stuff and have you guys working with modules. And one thing that's great about modules as we come to a close is I can have a module for cars, I can have a module for time, I can have a module, all of these modules that separate my code, right? So instead of having one code that's 5 million lines and I have to go through, and literally there's programs with millions of lines of code. Think of Facebook, right? Wouldn't it be cool just to have something that just deals with user information, and then maybe another module that just deals with the groups, and then another module that just deals with blah, 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 blah. And it becomes a way to organize all of these systems, right? However, modules don't excuse mistakes. If I make a mistake here, it crashes the whole program because it's running as one program. Even though I've just organized it and kind of segmented into different things, it's still one program. So if I put something here, like let me comment out Lux cars, and it's trying to print Lux cars, when I run it, it's going to tell me, hey, it's crashed out. Now I can put in error correction there, and that says, hey, if this error is out, just bypass it. But don't think just because it's in a different module that it's not going to work as one program. All right. Any questions? Any questions? All right. Any questions and comments about, did you guys find any benefit from doing it live like this? And I know we're doing this because of the winter storm and all of that good stuff, but did you see any value in doing this at all? This kind of presents a visual, but you don't get, so that's pluses and minuses, right? But let me know your comments on doing it live. Now, mind you, this was super glitchy because it's our first time doing it. The software I'm using kept freezing up and all of that good stuff. But glitches aside, let me know what you thought about doing it this kind of way, even though we ran into some bumps doing it this way. Bumps aside, let me know what you think. All right, and Stephanie has a question. What's your question, Stephanie? And you can just ask your question. But I like the cute hand raised emoji. Albert says value, yes. Better in person, also yes. Yeah, no, I definitely get it. Definitely better in person for sure. But this definitely has a lot of value as well. All right, questions. Stephanie said Zoom would be better so we could talk and interact. Yeah. I think Zoom would be better for one, I think Zoom would be better because it probably wouldn't crash. You never know. It could. The early days of Zooms were rough, but I think Zoom now has it down. And Zoom gives you like a synopsis, I think, at the end, if you can turn that feature on. So yeah, no, I definitely think Zoom would be Zoom for the win, I believe. All right, any questions? That is such a good question, Stephanie. So Stephanie's question is, do you not have to add Lux cars with all cars V? Yes. If here all cars V, we were showing as an alternative to Lux to a function. So if I just put all cars, you're absolutely right. If I truly wanted it to be all cars, I would have to add Lux cars here as well. But I didn't because we were kind of done with using all cars V, but you're absolutely right. If we were going to still call all cars V here, like print all cars V. So let's go ahead and do that. Such a great question. Let's print all cars V, and then we'll print AC, and we're going to make sure that we got these turned off, which we do. So boom. And such a great point. So here we see Ford, Tesla, Rivian, Lexus, Volvo, BMW, Mercedes, McLaren, Maybach. No Honda. This is all cars V. Because what happened at all cars V, it captured everything as is, and that's it. Right? But here, when we did the return, it captured the Honda. For two reasons, really, if we're being honest, because for one, it's after the append, and for two, the return is going to give us a fresh return of everything that is there. So if we're being totally honest, if we were to put all cars V down here, we should technically get the same thing. Uh-oh. What did we mess up? So we're just going to move it. Oh, it's because we put it after a print statement. So it's like, hey, buddy. So let's do this. Let's just move the append up. How about that? And then it won't yell at us for having this print statement here, calling all cars, and it doesn't exist. So here we see Honda in both places, right? So let's put it back, and then let's put we're going to define AC, and we're going to put it up here. Right now, AC now is above the append as well. Now, mind you, All Cars V, no Honda. AC, Honda. Oh, frozen again. Alrighty. We will definitely use, if we ever do this again, we will absolutely use a different application. Absolutely. We will not use this application again to do this. We will definitely use a different application. Okay. So I'm going to run it again. So what we're seeing, guys, is I put AC, return U.S. cars, foreign cars, Lux cars. So at the time of AC, Honda is not in here, right? Honda's not here, right? So if it was just a blank capture, when I hit print all cars, now mind you, I got print all cars after append Honda. I have print AC after append Honda, but this one has Honda in it. This one doesn't, right? So you would say, hey, it's because you call cars one, and when you call cars one, it appends, well, and then it prints. Well, you can't say that, because when I call cars one, part of cars one is to append the Honda and then print the print statement after it appends Honda. So technically, if you're trying to make that argument, we should have Honda, but it doesn't, because all cars here captures a snapshot of what all cars are, and that snapshot does not include Honda. Where here, return US cars is going to pull whatever the latest thing is at the time. So when I do print AC at line 31, it's going to say, hey, run AC. And what is the latest value of all of these things at the time it runs, right? And that's what happens. All right. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's it for tonight. Hopefully this was added some value to you, and we covered a lot of great stuff. One thing I do love about kind of doing it online, I feel like we can kind of dig in a little bit more. But yeah, being in person is great too. Could you append before defining the function AC? Yes, we can append at any point. Absolutely. So could we append before defining AC? Yes, we could, but the value will still be the same. So it would, if the goal is to make sure it includes Honda, the worst case scenario would be to append after AC is created. But even appending after AC is created, because of the return, it's going to capture the most recent value and thus show us Honda. So yes, appending before wouldn't change the outcome of AC, because it's going to give us the latest value either way. All right. Hopefully that helps. I look forward to being online with you guys at the next winter storm. And any questions before we get out of here? You guys bundle up, stay safe. In the words of Philip DeFranco, love your faces. Is there any questions before we're out of here? That's the hold music. All right, let's pray out. Lord God, in the name of Jesus, thank you for everyone that is here. Lord God, I just ask you to place a hedge of protection around every single one. Lord God, keep them safe from hurt, harm, and danger. Lord God, that nothing unclean, unrighteous, harmful enter that bubble, into that circle, Lord God. If it's already there, cast it out in the name of Jesus. Let just be peace, harmony, Lord God, with everyone watching. In Jesus' name, amen. I love you guys. God bless you guys. And I will see you online again tomorrow as we do for those who are in AI. That was the hold music. So I'll see all for those who are in AI for Business. I will see you guys online, most likely right here as well, because we can't stream on the GSC channel because it's brand new and it doesn't have 50 subscribers. So y'all subscribe, go find 50 people, tell them to subscribe, so that we can stream on the that channel as well, or we can just stream right here. This is fine too. All right, blessings.